Well, hey, Andrea Doria here with a cozy time story for you. Got Linus with me. Had this Linus with me since I was 4. My aunt and uncle on my dad's side gave this to me for a Christmas present, and so glad to still have it. I'm a big Peanuts fan. If you didn't notice, I brought up Snoopy before, so here's Linus. Gotta give everyone equal time. I guess that means Charlie Brown and Lucy will have to show up eventually. Anyhow, I was talking to my husband and thought about this story. I don't even know why it came to mind, but it did. And there's a little backstory that comes with what I will title this round of Andrea Doria, The Guest. Okay, so the backstory to this is, and I'm not asking for sympathy here, it's just the backstory. My father died when I was 10, and in a couple of years, my mom decided to start dating again and eventually did find a man that she was really pretty compatible with. Not so much teenager, but anyway, he had a friend. And they were both chemists, science, computer guys. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, sure. Anyhow, the guest. He was going to stay at our house for just a couple of weeks, and that was all fine and well. But those couple of weeks ended up being over a year, okay? So he was the guest. So the guest, put Linus down for now and just hang out. Yeah, we are in my bedroom, by the way. I'm about as cozy as I could possibly be here. I got my cozy robe, my cozy hoodie, cozy Rammstein. I'm cozy. I got cozy leopard. Look, check that out. Okay, so yeah, we are in my bedroom. I digress a lot. So the guest. This guy was a really interesting guy. Always had new things and ideas, and we were always having things changed at our house, like the fireplace getting this addition so we could burn coal and other things, which was very strange. But anyhow, this guest who decided to stay at our guest room for over a year also brought into the house a lot of really horrible music. I mean, this guy had probably the worst taste in music other than my brother. And maybe my brother actually has better taste because he does like you too. So this guy, Ray Conniff, more Ray Conniff, and some other Ray Conniff. And I think there was something else, I can't remember, but all of it was music that had been, your basic book tunes that you've heard a billion times by other artists, but here the Ray Conniff singers are going to bring it to you in a whole new way that's, if you're a teenager listening to rock and roll, is making you puke. And at the time, I was listening to stuff more like Aerosmith and Cheap Trick, and just starting to figure out what punk rock was all about, and just dip my toes in. So by the time that year kind of rolled through, I'm in college. I'm done with high school, thank God, and I'm in college. So we still have Mr. Ray Conniff at our house, and one of the things he would do every morning, I'd have to get up at 6 in the morning. This guy's right where the bathroom is, and here she is, queen of the highway. Good morning to you, too. So, there was one day I got home and no one else was home, and here was the Guess albums. They were all right there. And I felt the need to play Frisbee. I don't know why. I just really had this need to play Frisbee, So, gosh darn it, I took, and I love vinyl. Vinyl, hey, we try to take good care of our vinyl. Except for when I was a kid. I didn't, that's different. But anyway, get back. The story is, I take one of these wonderful Ray Conniff vinyl disasters and decide to play Frisbee in our living room with it. And we had a pretty big living room with pretty high ceilings, so I was able to really give it some good airspace. And then just to make sure it was getting pretty well damaged, kind of threw it along the floor a few times. I might have stepped on it, I don't know. It never cracked, Vinyl is pretty resistant to a lot. Very resilient stuff. So anyway, of course, craftily put the album back into its sleeve and felt, I got the guest. I got part of his Ray Conniff taken care of, and he's not going to be able to listen to that again. And went down and probably at that point listened to probably some David Bowie at that point. College, I definitely had a big swing, as I've talked about earlier, in music, and got into just the best music ever. And I'll be back talking about that probably in about a day, because I've got it all figured out. I've been working on this one. It's been fun. So, where this ties into as far as me musically was, not only was I in college, but I was just getting involved with the San Jose State Associated Students Program Board. And I talked about that when I did my little U2 thingy. If you saw that, doesn't really matter. They were there, part of student government in San Jose State, to bring entertainment to the students. And I had just gotten involved. I didn't have a position of any kind at the time. I was just helping out in any way that I could. So I was really getting very deep into rock and roll on all levels between San Jose State's program board. I mentioned KFJC, the radio station. Didn't have a show there yet or anything, but I was sure listening to them. So The Guest and his horrible Ray Conniff music was more than jarring. I already had a brother who was listening to Muzak, and I do mean Muzak, elevator music. They had it on vinyl. He found it. I don't know how. But at the time, this is the kind of stuff that was getting into my ears, so it was run to my room and either be really obnoxious and put on something really loud and fun. Oh boy, I got a lot of stuff that was really good for that. And the other was just to retreat to headphones. But the sad part of the story is that the vinyl didn't get scratched enough to not be played, and it still got played. He noticed some pops and stuff, but that was about it. So that was too bad. But I want to go back over to the program board, wrap this whole little stupid story up, because the program board was a very, very big part of my life when I was at San Jose State. And in fact, I learned probably most of the most practical business skills that I did throughout my college career, basically, at the program board, because I got to book shows, and that included doing all kinds of things. So the program board, I'm at the program board. I got this guy living in our house that I don't like, playing horrible music, but thank goodness I have refuge at my home and at the school, the university. And this is a tribute because it's National Book Week. Did you know that? National Book Week. If you are looking for things to do, read a book. Easy. Listen to a book if you want to do that. Oh, I got to give a shout out about books. But I wanted to do a tribute to my mentor, who was the advisor at the program board. His name was Ted Gerke, and he put out a book of poetry on his own right, and it's wonderful. It's called Dedicate Me to Your Favorite Charity. Holding it up right there. And I just wanted to read this little piece that he wrote because he did pass away last year. I missed very much. He made a huge impact on San Jose. He did a blues festival, started that when I started getting involved with the program board, and it's still going. Fountain Blues Festival at San Jose State. Awesome. So this is from Ted Gerke, from his book. This is untitled. It was while I was looking for my fine line rapidograph pen and just the right pretty little notebook that I must have mislaid the poem. And so here we all are. Why I Write Poems by Ted Gerke. Why? It's so I can bask in your beautiful blank faces. So, that's in honor of the program board, my mentor, Mr. Ted Gerke. He was a wonderful man. Learned so much from him. He had a wonderful rock career. I wish I had more that I could tell you about that because I don't have a lot of info. But the other thing I wanted to say about National Book Week before I sign off here is how to get the iPad out. There's a wonderful app if you're not familiar with it, so I have to go and look at it. It's just called My Books. I think it's called Free Books. It should be really easy. Well, it's called My Books now, apparently, but it's Free Books. I'm holding this up here with the iPad. Can you see that? Well, it's so hard. Free books. Most of them are classics, but they have also some more current titles. This app is fabulous. You can read a book like you read a book on your tablet, and you get to flip the page, which I really like. I know Kindle has that as well, but this is free, 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 free. You have a tablet, all you have to do is look for that app. I do believe it's called Free Books or My Books. Check it either way, it's free. And you get a full library of wonderful. I've read Dracula, Tale of Two Cities. Gosh, I can't even remember how many different books I've read on that. I'm kind of getting back to that. I'm trying to get back to a ton of reading I haven't done, and I'm a little scattered in that. I tend to read like 3 different books at the same time. So, hey, Andrea, Doria, rambling on, dialing it back in. We're dialing it in. Number 1, I hope you enjoyed that story and it wasn't too rambly, because I have a tendency. If you didn't like the ramble, put a comment down there, okay? I really would like that. National Book Week, do some reading. It's fun. And hey, if you have family, this is something my family used to do, which is actually kind of a neat thing to do. If you have a book that is a very visual kind of book, my mom used to read at the end of dinner every night. We'd have a book, and she would read a chapter or two, depending on what kind of book it was and what age we were, of course. And that was always really cool. So that's an idea for you if you are looking for something to do with your kids. Do some reading. If they read, pass the book around, have some fun. Make it a mashup. I mean, you can do anything that you want with a book. National Book Week. Just enjoy it. And the other thing is, I keep promising this part 2 of albums that bent my head and ears and spine and everything, and I'm actually going to be working on that tomorrow. We're doing some fun little things on that, okay? And it's hopefully going to be fun for you. And the other big news is I have my first interview definitely scheduled for next week. That will be with Mr. Eugene Robinson. His band currently is Oxbow. I'll put a link down below so you can check that out. And I met him originally through a band he was in when he went to Stanford University called Whipping Boy. And we'll be talking about all these things. He's also a journalist. Lots to talk about with Mr. Eugene S. Robinson. Not to be confused with that guy you see on MSNBC all the time. Not him. Definitely not him. Yeah, I'll put a link to Oxville. You'll enjoy that. So I'll be back in about a day, maybe 2, and we'll do that album stuff, and then we'll be getting back to some other movies and gosh knows what, because ideas are flowing. It's just a matter of getting these things going. And I'd like to give a shout out to my guy for my wonderful new little remote and tripod so I could do this. And I bet you're saying, oh, thanks a lot, husband. Thanks. She's back and she's telling stories. Great. All right. You have a wonderful everything. Remember to stay safe, of course, and healthy. And I hope if you're in a community like mine, you have a nightly howl or clap or something like that. We do have that here. And say 8 o'clock, we have 8 o'clock howl, and it's really, it's good. You hear and the dogs start barking, and it kind of goes in waves, and it's just fun. And we're a small community, too. We're not a big city, so I hope you're having something like that makes you feel connected besides being online. So that's it. Have a great one. Love y'all. Peace. Little plug. Subscribe, of course, if you'd like to. And if you enjoyed this story and would like to hear other weird music-related stories that happened throughout my life, I've got them. Let me know. Make a comment. That's it for now. You have a wonderful one. I'll talk to you soon. Talk with you. Talk to you. Groove with you. Yeah. Groove with you. Cheers.